everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another reaction video. Today I'm going to be watching, reviewing, and reacting to Season 2, Episode 8 of Hannibal. So Episode 7 was very insane. We had quite a few major things occurring and it all culminated in the unfortunate and shocking death of Chilton, who I was very, very sad to see go because I absolutely loved him on the show and all of his interactions throughout the past few episodes. Once he really was suspicious of Hannibal, his interactions with everyone have been fantastic and just hilarious and wonderful, and so that was very sad, but of course our dear departed Dr. Chilton was the one that Hannibal ended up framing and setting up to take the fall for the Chesapeake Ripper murders. And then the traumatized and manipulated Miriam ended up killing him. Rest in peace. But now Will is out here free and he is aware that Hannibal is the actual Chesapeake Ripper, and he's clearly not about to give up on trying to prove that to Jack and everybody else around him. And as part of his way of doing that, he seems to have decided to just confront Hannibal head-on in his own way by resuming therapy, and that is where we have left off. So I'm very curious to see what this dance between the two of them is going to be like going forward. We know that the season is going to end with a big Jack and Hannibal showdown, so very... Well, I mean, I guess it could have happened at any point, right? I'm just assuming that's going to be near the end. But I mean, it could happen this episode for all I know. But I'm going to assume we're going to have a little bit more of a little, like I said, dance between Will and Hannibal. But we'll see what happens. Very curious and excited. So let's get into episode 8. Here we go.
So how do you catch a fish that isn't hungry?
Change your tactics. Use live bait that moves and excites them to action. You gotta make him bite.
So this is...
Even though he's not hungry.
This is Will's Hannibal strategy.
Instinct. He's always a predator.
You have to create a reality where only you and the fish exist. Your lure is the one thing he wants, despite everything he knows.
Make a wrong move, he swims away.
Yeah.
This...
I'm a good fisherman, Jack.
So is...
Look, I'll land.
Is Jack...
What's the thinking here, Doctor?
Conflicted. I see what he's done. I don't understand why he's done it. This killer doesn't think like anyone else, Jack. We'll have to find someone who doesn't think like anyone else to catch
Bring
him.
Will back in? That's what Hannibal wants?
Are you going to try again?
This is where therapy gets a little tricky.
It doesn't have to be tricky.
I could confess to a murder. You can't say a word. I could have murdered someone this morning and you can't say a word. But if I'm planning to commit a murder...
I'm ethically obliged to take action to prevent that murder.
Yeah, but we all know that's not how
Be
you...
that as it may, if there's no one else to protect you, Margot, you have to protect yourself.
It's like he's
It
actively...
would actually have been more therapeutic if you had killed him.
Oh my god. How is that bird alive?
Last time it nearly destroyed you.
The last time you nearly destroyed me.
Pretty straightforward there. Will?
Everything that has happened, Will, you still
Stop
believe
right there. You may have to pretend, but I don't.
He's just flat out being it.
Not with me.
I don't expect you to admit anything. You can't. But I prefer sins of omission to outright lies, Dr. Lecter. Don't lie to me.
Will you return the courtesy? Why have you resumed your therapy?
Can't just talk to any psychiatrist about what's kicking around my head.
You fantasize about killing me.
Yes.
Well, understandable.
Tell me, how will you do it?
With my hands.
Then we haven't moved past apologies and forgiveness, have we?
Hannibal?
I've passed a lot of things. I discovered a truth about myself when I tried to have you killed.
That doing bad things to bad people makes you feel good.
Yes.
I just feel like Hannibal's liking all of
I
this.
need to know if you're going to try to kill me again, Will.
I don't want to kill you anymore, Dr. Lecter. Not now that I finally find you interesting.
Oh my god, that's just what he wanted to hear.
I owe you an apology.
You don't owe me anything.
I thought you were a killer. I didn't want to hear anything else, so I wouldn't consider anything else.
Hmm?
The evidence was compelling.
It didn't stop Beverly from questioning it. Maybe if she thought we would listen, she would have come to us. She didn't.
Well, this is a nice moment for Will to have.
Trace the sort
It's
of
good.
They think I'm weird.
I'm much weirder than you will ever be, Michael. It's fine to be weird.
He really seems like he's
They've
trying to
already
push her.
forgiven him. Talk shows and self-help books, they thrive on this sort of thing. Everybody loves a sinner redeemed. The prodigal son said about repairing his ways. He may have made bad choices before, but now he can make new, better choices.
Do you believe that?
Do you believe me?
Well, it's not my role to believe you, Margot. It's my role to help you understand what you believe.
I believe my brother won't stop.
How does it make you feel?
So are we going to be getting some Mason pretty soon?
Anger is an energizing emotion. Prompts action against threat. If you're angry, you're optimistic you can stop this from happening again.
Oh, I know how to stop it.
If you really want to kill your brother, Margot, wait until you can get away with it. Find someone to do it for you.
It's very direct, Hannibal.
Said you were worried about the bird?
Oh god, that was gross. Hannibal's like, ooh, this just became so much more interesting.
Might want to throw back in there if you know what's good for you.
Oh,
Officer.
I'm the victim here. I'm not an officer. I'm Peter's friend. Peter's confused. I know. Pick it down. Pick it up.
It won't feel the same now. It won't feel like killing me.
Doesn't have to.
You did the best anyone could do for Peter. Don't do this for him. If you're going to do this, Will, you have to do it for yourself.
Please don't.
You would be wise to remain silent, Mr. Ingram. No. This is not the reckoning you promised yourself. knowledge and intrusion, I could never entirely predict you. I can feed the caterpillar. I can whisper through the chrysalis, but what hatches follows its own nature and is beyond me.
Oh my god. What? Ah. Well, that was episode 8. So a less kind of hectic and crazy episode than episode 7, but that really isn't saying much because episode 7 was just so insane that in comparison this seemed slower, but you know, in a lot of ways it really wasn't, and it was extremely intense for the relationship between Will and Hannibal and Will's internal, I guess, conflict. Whew. So first of all, to just get it out of the way quickly, this episode was kind of difficult for me to watch with all of the animal deaths and weird putting animals inside of human bodies and humans inside of animal bodies and all sorts. I know it may seem a little bit crazy that I'm watching this show where tons of people die in horrible ways and I get much more upset about the animals, but that's just something about me, so I guess I can relate to Peter in certain respects, I guess, and Will too. You know, Will has always had this affinity for his dogs, more difficulty relating to humans in a lot of instances, so. But anyway, putting that aside, I thought it was interesting that they had Will kind of showing himself to have been pretty strongly impacted by his experience of trying to kill Hannibal. And you wonder as this whole thing goes on, how much of what he's actually saying and doing with Hannibal is all this kind of, this act, this lure bait thing that he was talking about with Jack with the fish at the beginning of the episode. You know, how much of it is just that and how much of it is actually him dealing with the realization that the idea of killing Hannibal for what Hannibal had done to Beverly and everything else did make him feel good and kind of righteous in a way, and so the idea of doing that going forward also can, you know, provide some sort of good feelings, excitement. So you feel like there's a little bit of both aspects going on there, where he's walking this fine line, where he's trying to put on this kind of performance to lure Hannibal in, but at the same time, he's at risk of getting legitimately sucked into it, and that's what this episode was kind of demonstrating. But I also thought it was interesting to look at it from Hannibal's perspective, I guess his side of the dance, as you will, because he's very much, and has been in the past, trying to, I guess, encourage Will's transition into embracing these urges, this side of himself, the one that Hannibal can perhaps more personally relate to. And he's always done that with a lot of his different clients, you know, and with his own psychiatrist, Dr. Du Maurier. We saw him doing that with Margot throughout this episode. And then, yeah, at the end here, he stops Will from going through with actually killing this man, and whether Will was actually going to do it or not, Hannibal seemed to think that he certainly was, and he stops him from doing it. So he's kind of going back and forth in this way too, where he's trying to play and push Will down this path the way he does with all these other dangerous individuals that have these urges inside them. But he stopped him from actually following through in that instance, and I'm sure it's for his own particular purposes, you know, whether it was just not the right way that he wants Will to come to this or what it is, but it's just very interesting to see them both going back and forth and feeling like they're both simultaneously trying to manipulate one another and also having internal conflicts and uncertainties about what they both want. It's very, very interesting and complex and twisted relationship. And I'm still curious whether Jack kind of knows what Will is doing and still believes there's a chance that it was actually Hannibal and not Chilton, or not. I'll be curious to see more about that going forward as well. So, but yeah, it was a interesting episode for the two of them, and Hannibal seems very excited with the direction that he believes Will is going. So, very curious to see what's going to happen next steps for both of them. But all right, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. So if you have questions or comments, or you think there's anything important that I missed, please do feel free to comment about it down below. Otherwise, I'll just say thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.